the drone video is going to be available?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir. I'll put it in my Dropbox, and then, so if I have your email, I can just invite you to. Yes. And Amber's going to give you her business card. I don't know why I haven't put that in my pocket. She's going to give you her business card. Email her, please, instead of texting me, okay? That way, she's got some information that she can get that submitted as quickly as we can. We've got to do some manipulation of this video to get it to small enough where anybody can do anything with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to offer two versions of it. We're going to offer city versions, and then we're going to offer the county version. So they started way out in the county and brought it into the city. And so we're going to shrink that down and just the city part of it. And then we'll offer the full version where you have the county part of it. So our local folks will feel more about that. The breakup from you guys do, but just understand that that's what we'll be the format. Any questions right now?
Thank you.
No worries, no worries. I do apologize for your time. If you know about that.
You guys will get it with the bar.
Yeah. So we'll get on this and get rolling this week.
Major Hughes. I have a question, please. Do you have a point of contact at hospital or at eugenics regarding the services in the area? Do you know who's facilitating that?
Somebody want to volunteer.
No, what I'm doing is being call information regarding, you know, not only people going to Moss or actually going to South Warren, and they would be a good asset for if they're taking information down, if they're able to get information. That would be great.
Thank you.
I know you guys email me and I will send you.
I think yesterday there was a song. I think this has very more monetary. He's the one that brought me into the industry, so yeah, it's really that's exactly what I've seen happen. It's really good. Yeah. It was just so funny because yesterday I saw the history and I was like, yeah, that's he's like, he kept on talk to like a lot. Do we know
I'm down here.
like, you know, it's not like you
If we don't already have a list of street closures, can we get one of those together when we send including plug bridges and,
so that.
yeah, that'd be great, yeah.
Those are days off, Christmas and New Year's.
So Wakefield, are those all? And then, the actual Creekwood,
Honestly, when we're so big stuff with the internet, my mom's got all the water. That was something in my head. It's just tornadoes and see. It's like my area is just.
She's your point of contact about her today.
okay. So if emergency management or something like that has something you would not know about that necessarily. Okay, so police may have closed some locations, but this is what we've got.
Growing up, I just heard.
Okay. This is a well, okay, well, this is. Okay, so precinct between Robinson, Magnolia, 10th, from 10th to Collet, from Magnolia to Duckwood, bypass from the roundabout to Broadway, including the side approaches, and then Covington from Union to East. Okay, thank you so much. They said, we need a list of all the closures. So I was like, okay, no, we're gonna list.
Then it was me and everybody else was out.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, ma'am.
Do the police have any street closures for search warrants? Because I have been working on all this.
Yes, sir. My first? Oh, okay. No, I do not.
Everybody good? Okay, good morning, everyone. I'm Officer Ronnie Ward. I'm the Public Information Officer for the Bowling Green Police Department. At this time, I'm going to introduce the Chief of Police, Chief Michael Delaney. He's going to go over the newest information that we have at this time, and then some information for our community. Chief.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here today. Yesterday was a tough day on our community, on law enforcement, first responders, on everybody in our community, but we pulled together as a community, and we're trying to provide the best service that we can for our community to provide some healing. This morning, we wanted to give you some updates and some information on where we're at on getting back to what we can call normal, if whatever that normal will be after this. But I've got some people with me today that's going to give some updates on utilities, on search and rescue with the fire department, and about information for our city as a whole. So we appreciate you all being here today, so we're going to give you as much information as we can. And moving forward, we'll have these periodic updates to provide as much information to the public moving forward as we can. So first off, I'd like to invite the mayor, Todd Alcott, to come up to give you a brief overview.
Thank you, Chief. Good morning, Bowling Green. Last 30-plus hours have been a test that we are prevailing. At this moment, what I've witnessed in our community is overwhelming. The support we've received from police communities around us, Louisville Fire Department or Police Department is here with us. Franklin Police Department is here with us. We have Glasgow here with us. We have Lexington here with us. We have Fire Department from Louisville here with us. We have received calls from all over the world on how to support Bowling Green, and we are still channeling and funneling that. And at the moment, we are at a peak because we need to be able to take care of those that are in critical need. Last night, we had 76 personnel stay at South Warren. They're offset, and all in South Warren at the middle school has received a lot of in-kind and a gift and assistance given to our city. And we are grateful for that. And we know more people want to continue to give us items to our community. We are going to take those items and they are going to be put at the Creekwood or Jennings Creek Elementary School today. And I know that there's volunteers through social media that have volunteered to support to move those items. We appreciate the community to stay off the roads. We still have, and we're going to give an update on what roads are closed because it is still hurting the grid because people are trying to get through some of the major functions. A lot of the city is up and running. My hat's off to BGMU. They'll give you a brief. My hat's off to Warren Rural Electric. They have worked hard and they have put our community back in power as much as possible. I am grateful to our nation because we have FEMA support that will be able to help out the families of our community. So there's a lot more that has to happen. It's going to be a while before we pull ourselves out of this fully. It is a major catastrophe. We have had loss of life. There's information out there. We are still making contacts with next of kin. And it's important that we take care of those in a dignified way to be able to let people know that they've had those loss of life within their family. So we ask for your continued support. We ask for your continued prayers, and we thank you for putting Bowling Green first and for taking care of our community. Thank you, Chief.
Next, I'd like to invite the Fire Chief, Justin Brooks, up to give an update. His crews have been working around the clock nonstop to help find people and help rescue people. So, Chief Brooks.
Good morning. The efforts, not from just fire, but from everybody. All the parts equal to some here, and it's been inspiring, to say the least. The efforts are great out there, and we say thank you to the retirees, to the active duty, off duty, to the volunteers, It's great. The effort is great, and for good reason. On somebody's worst day, we're here to try to make it better. And so with that being said, we've got an extensive operation out there with the search and rescue. We've completed the primary and secondary searches, and now we're going to get into the debris, the search of the debris. With that being said, we ask for your patience as this operation will carry on for the next couple of days. And with that being said, it will go till dark, and then we'll pick up when daylight breaks the next day. So stay patient. We're doing our best, and I know you are too. So we thank you.
This has been a collaborative effort. There's been one team, emergency management, BGMU, the Sheriff's Department. We're all trying to do what's best for Bowling Green and Warren County right now. Next up, I'd like to invite the Sheriff to give us just an update real fast, and then after that, BGMU, Mr. Iverson. Thank you.
Yeah, I just have a couple things. You know, here a little over 24 hours ago, everybody was getting ready to go to bed, and within a few hours, this destruction kind of came upon us. And it didn't go without notice. And I've been in law enforcement for a lot of time, but to come in a few hours after this tornado hit, and the overwhelming amount of phone calls coming in from police officers, from sheriff's deputies, from fire who were off duty, and who were willing to come out in the pouring rain and still with a lot of tornadic activity, and willing to come and serve. And that's where really the medal is, so much from within this community, and a lot of people wanting to help. But as we move forward, there's a couple of things. And one, if you still have a family member who has not been located, or you just don't know where they're at, I want to share that number again, 270-393-4116. Call us, let us know. If you called yesterday and to report them that they were missing, but you have located them, please call us back at that number to let us know that that loved one has been located, or you know where their whereabouts is, because we have a lot of different resources that are trying to find these individuals. So please let us know on that. And I just want to thank so many people, so many other volunteers, and it's a continuity of operations that we have had over the last 24 hours plus. And so, but if you need anything, we'll be here. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Mark Iverson. I'm the General Manager for Bowling Green Municipal Utilities. Give a little update, if I could, about the status of power for the city. When this event happened, we had, of our 31,000 customers, 24,000 were without power. By mid-morning, we had worked that number down to 11,800, 8,700 by 2 o'clock, and as of this morning, 5,600 customers are still without power. We have, in addition to our 23 BGMU linemen who worked all day yesterday, took a little rest last night and started at 6 o'clock this morning, we have either on property or soon to be this morning 38 additional linemen from our mutual aid network, along with some equipment coming from Glasgow, Hopkinsville, Cookeville, Gallatin, Tennessee, and North Georgia. Today's concentration will be on cleanup, so we will be taking down damaged circuits, poles, transformers, cross arms, just the mess that's out there. We have about 50 transmission poles that were damaged. Those are the tall poles that serve move power among our substations. That's a pretty big deal for us in terms of rebuilding the transmission lines. And then at least 50 distribution poles as well. So when you damage pole infrastructure, it's an effort to kind of do that rebuild. A couple matters of safety that I'd like to emphasize, if I might, for the general public. If there are downed lines, don't assume that that's dead. Assume that it is an active line. Stay away. Let us know. We will clear that out as soon as we can. So just don't go near downed lines. And secondly, I know there's people out have been purchasing generators for their homes. I get it, I understand. And a lot of times they'll plug that into their home wiring to have lights inside their circuit. What you might not know, though, when you do that, is not only are you energizing the lines in your house, you're energizing the service line that goes to your house, it goes up through the transformer and goes back out on the grid. And that creates a danger for then our linemen that are out trying to provide and restore service. So if you would, get a licensed electrician so they can separate that service between what's in your house and what's outside. So that would be very helpful as we're trying to kind of work through this. In addition to crews working to do cleanup work before they can start the reconstruction, those that are in the smaller service crews are going to be working individual services among customers to, again, quickly respond to getting power back up. As you well know, this has been a major event. It transected the city from west to east, went right through the heart of town. Especially if you're kind of in a majorly impacted area, from an anticipation of how long this is going to take, my standard answer is going to be it will be weeks, not days. We'll do our level best to be as quick as we can to get people back on, but there's a lot of major reconstruction that's going to be taking place with that. So make plans accordingly. From our perspective, we're going to work multiple long hours, long days. It'll be a marathon, not a sprint. But from our perspective, safety is number one, because when you get kind of in a fog of trying to do things, you really have to concentrate, not make mistakes that can hurt people. So with that, that's all the update that I have. Thank you.
Just like to end by saying thank you. Thank you to Bowling Green, Warren County, all the surrounding counties and cities that have supported us through this difficult time. The amount of resources that have poured in, the phone calls, people just wanting to volunteer and help has been tremendous. So thank you for everything. We've got some difficult days, weeks, and months ahead of us, but we have the team assembled that's going to provide that service and move forward. We can't do it alone. We couldn't do it without the outside support and help of other agencies. So thank you for everyone who supplied everything from water to sending manpower and resources, clothes. Our community is hurt. They're hurt bad, but we're going to respond with all the help that we can to restore that to Bowling Green. So with that, I'll stop and open up for any questions.
Do we have any specific numbers yet on anybody missing or deaths so far?
We're keeping an active sheet of everyone missing. Like Sheriff Hightower said, if you have a loved one that's missing or unaccounted for, please call us and let us know, 393-4116, so we can keep up with that. But the specific number, I don't have that information right now, but we are keeping a total of that and trying to reconcile family members back together.
As for people who have passed away, do you all know that number?
The coroner gave a number out yesterday. I think it was 11 confirmed, but everyone hasn't been notified. Their family members haven't been notified yet, so the release of those names have not been given.
Are you able to say a range of how many people are still unaccounted for? Over a dozen, would you say, or is, what has that process been like for you guys? Fielding calls, and then maybe if somebody's power gets back on, people getting in touch with their loved ones?
Yeah, we're taking every missing person serious, and some of it is, we've checked on people because their phone service was out and their parents were out of town and they couldn't get a hold of them. So we've identified people that were reported missing that were okay, they just didn't have power, and then there's still some on the list. There's at least 10 that I know of that are still on the missing list that we haven't confirmed their whereabouts yet, and it may be they're in the hospital, they're with other family members without power or cell service, so they can't tell their loved ones where they're at yet. And I would ask you please stay off the roadways, though. It makes it a lot easier for first responders to get some of these streets cleared up and get to those locations and try to find people.
Are you able to give a number as to how many people were injured during this event?
There was a lot of people injured. There was several transported to the hospital. I think 10 to 15 transported to the hospital along with the ones who passed away. So there's a lot of people injured, and some people didn't go because they thought their injuries were not severe enough. They're devastated. So I'm sure those numbers will increase as the days and the weeks go by.
Are there areas of the city that more deaths were concentrated in than others?
Out toward the Russellville Road area was hit tremendously hard, so a lot of the casualties were out there, and that's one of the areas that we're asking people to stay away from until fire can finish their job out there and make sure that we've provided rescue for everyone that's still out there. Any other questions?
It's gonna be in the alleyway
The
behind.
Russellville area, is that near the Creekwood?
Yes, sir. Russellville Road, yes, sir.
A lot of people are just asking to volunteer, help out. I know the biggest way you said is staying off the roads, but is there any way that other people can help out? Volunteering,
Are those lines
maybe
working?
compete with anything with cleanup or anything like that?
There's a couple ways through Red Cross that we provided that number yesterday, but also Ronnie Ward's going to be providing some information about another service that we're going to allow resources to come in so we can house those resources and get them distributed out to the people in need. I don't know if he has that number now or not, but we'll get that out to you as soon as possible. We're going to be pushing information out as it becomes available and continue to push that information out.
How long have you been police chief?
What was your name, ma'am?
August 1st, 2020.
So seeing your city go through the pandemic now, obviously this
Thank you very much for
unimaginable
calling me,
weather
Wanda.
event,
If anything
12
changes, I'd
people,
love for you to call me back,
this
all right?
reporter saying have passed away among those children. What has this been like for you, for all the officials out here trying to work and help people in this community seeing this devastation?
It's tough, and I wouldn't stand here and tell you it's not tough. Seeing the tragedy of people that you love and the community that you love go through something like this is tough, but that's what we signed up to do, is to provide service to our community and protect and serve. I know that sounds cliche, but that's really what we're public servants, first and foremost, and we're here to serve the public, so, but I'm human. So is it tough seeing the devastation, seeing people lose their lives and lose their houses? Yes, it is. Anything else? Thank you. And we'll brief you on the next press conference so we can keep you informed. Thank you for being here.